So I thought about writing this, but I felt that I had to just come to you not as some sort of written entity that's conveying emotions through tightly written words, but as a human being, as my channel has often been about, as I've often tried to convey. Um, I've been a Hikikomori for most of my life. Most of my life, I have, you know, lied to others in order to continue this lifestyle. I have cheated when I've said that I wasn't going to. Um, I've made my mental state as a whole worse than it could have been, to anything, um, not to anything apparent in Hikikomori itself, but more so how I, as a person, had interacted with it just due to how I am. So I wanted to make this video to say that I'm leaving. I'm not a Hikikomori anymore. Um, I'm gonna try and slowly make the transition to a person who is doing shit IRL, learning how to form connections, and learning how to just go outside consistently, because this lifestyle, if I continue it the way that I am, I'm just going to end up continuing the cycle of dishonesty and of unhealthy levels of isolation and internet use. And I need to recognize life for what it is. I need to put myself into life, despite it, despite the view of it from an isolated perspective being negative. And again, it's just slow steps, and I'm not going to explain all of the background behind this decision, but a lot of it just has to do with, how I feel that, my mental state is right now, and how I want to go about things in the future. So, with this video, what I'm trying to say is that I am not going to be doing the Hikikomori videos anymore. I'm going to be still making vlogs, probably, but the type of vlogs that they are probably going to be pretty different. I might do like a concept thing here and there. I have a few stories that I still want to tell, but in general, this type of vlog right here, where I just sit in front of the camera and talk about some, random bullshit hiki topic, it's not going to be coming out anymore, just because I want to exit the lifestyle, and it's going to be difficult, but I think it's a transition worth making. There's still vlog videos that I want to make, like there's one where I want to talk a bit more in depth about worker alienation and worker exploitation. So basically outlining the idea of your place in society and how your emotional state can be affected by the system that you live under, and how in the context of being a worker, that can kind of fuck you over. And I want to make some videos talking about the school system and what's wrong with that. But in general, this type of video that I'm doing right here, it's no more on the channel. And I know I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers for making this decision. I know a lot of diehard hikis out there. They watch my videos and then they think, wow, Outlaw is just some sort of, hiki gospel man. But this isn't the place that I want to be. I want to be the best person that I can possibly be. And the current way that I'm living my life is just not that. So that's the transition in content. I'm probably going to move over to more edited stuff, more written stuff, just applying more effort to my work in general. I really want to put a bigger focus on writing and working on writing things that mean something to me, which I've been doing. I really liked how the Euro Truck video came out. I'm still probably going to be doing the Let's Plays and live streams with folks and stuff like that, but the insane number of vlogs that you've been getting and of the topics that you've been getting are most likely going to be no more. I've kind of said everything I have to say about Hikikomori at this point. I'm still going to be doing the audiobook of Hikikomori Adolescence Without End. That's still coming out. So I guess look forward to that. I'm probably going to do audiobooks on some other stuff, but one thing at a time. So, yeah. Basically, the Infinite Outlaw as they were is no longer. So, take that as you will, unsubscribe if you want, but there is new content coming. If you just like me as a person, you know, despite the changes that I undergo, that's still going to be there. Probably show you a lot of shit of the outside because I'll be outside more. You know, I've always loved those vloggers who are able to combine the outside world and where they're going with the stuff that they're talking about. So they talk about, you know, a specific topic that's relevant to them, and then they have cuts interspersed of them just in different places outside. I think it immerses the viewer more because you're constantly feeding them more stimuli of background information and things like that while continuing the main point itself. So you end up just like, you end up just being able to pay more attention to the focal point of the video because they don't end up losing your attention. And I really like that type of densely made vlog where there's cuts in between and you get to see all these different parts of a city. And you know, as just a generally curious person about, you know, what the world looks like on the outside, I love architecture. I love the way individual cities differ from one another, how the elements interspersed within can affect one another, and how the culture affects the architecture and all these different things. I love stuff like that. I love seeing how a climate affects a city. I love seeing, you know, how different parts of the world look. So as someone who plans to be doing a heavy degree of traveling later in life, and probably not too far from now going to be doing a heavy amount of traveling, you know, I think it's I think it would be a good place for my content to go. So it's not as if there's just no videos that are going to be coming out. Quite the contrary. It's just the style of videos that are coming out are going to be different. You know, I made the transition from just a normal YouTuber who talks about media to one who vlogged my entire life. And it just so happened that the vlogs that were coming out on this main channel were, you know, about a very specific point in my life with a lot of depression and a lot of isolation. So the time in which I began really putting vlogs on the main channel was also at the height of my hikidom in recent years. So they just corresponded with one another, and it changed the entire identity of the channel, changed all of what the channel was about. And so what I really seek to do is not to leave YouTube in any capacity. Far from it, actually. It's just change the style of the content that I'm making. And I know there's going to be a great degree of retaliation in response to this, just because so many of the people who watch my videos watch it to be validated as a hikikomori, or they watch it because they're lonely as a hikikomori. They want to see someone else who lives the same lifestyle they do, and then they want to see them logically justify it so they can not feel like they have to change, or they want to see someone who lives in a similar way enough to them that they don't have to feel alone. And I mean, all of those reasons to watch me are perfectly understandable, but I need to move past that. I need to evolve in my content, because I've always been evolving in my videos. Like, I started out as a Minecraft YouTuber in 2014, And then after that, in 2015, I started making retro gaming vlogs where I talked about just old video games that I picked up. I talked about, reviewing certain games in a very structured consumer review format. Then from there, around actually the first of 2017, I changed to an analysis video style where it was written and focused less on making a consumer review that would, tackle all of the different categories that a review normally would: story, gameplay, etc., etc. It would just tackle one element and then analyze it. So I did those videos upwards until now. For the last 2 years, I've been making these videos, since we're almost in 2019. So yeah, 2 years almost. And now that we've hit this point, now that the channel has changed from just being strictly an analysis channel into being like a vlogging thing, I think it's about time that we hit another evolution, because almost every year and a half, I've evolved my content. So, let's do it again. I think this is just a choice that I have to make for my health, for my well-being as a person, for my growth as a person. And I kind of hinted at this in the video Goodbye, which was literally just a full sale leave from YouTube. The fundamental flaw with that video was that YouTube is a hobby that uplifts me in a lot of ways. It's one that I care about deeply. So to leave YouTube forever, completely, would just be retarded. I mean, the intention of that video wasn't to leave forever, but the fact that I was leaving for so long was just something I didn't need to do, especially at that time when I was under so much stress. The thing that gets rid of the stress was not an element I needed to leave at that time. However, I was on the right track with that video, with realizing that certain elements of my content were problematic for my mental state, because the videos that get the most views on my channel have been the ones that are the most sad. So of course, by seeing those views and by seeing those comments that are encouraging that kind of content, I myself would want to make more of those videos, because the views, the likes, the comments, the attention, all of it continues to grow from that negativity, because that's what this platform strives upon, especially if you're making videos for an audience as negative as this one, just due to the nature of social isolation. Then you end up being encouraged to be in a more negative mental state yourself, which can negatively impact your life as a whole. I didn't necessarily have to leave Hikidom, but the worst aspects of Hikidom were actively being encouraged, I feel, by how my content was being received. I mean, just look at the most positive videos that I make. Those always get the least views out of anything that I do. And so the ones that were really blowing up for me were the ones that were probably actively bad for my health in a way, views on the world that were unhealthy, because people wanted to see someone who shared those views. And I realize that while I may not have complete agency over my life, I do have agency. I don't have I don't have a complete I can't change everything about myself. I can't just become a normie. I think that's pretty obvious that I can't just become a normie, but I can still be better than this. I don't have to be in a mental state as hopeless as this one. I can still make a choice. So basically that's what I wanted to get across. Infinite Outlaw, as they were at this point, is gone. The well has dried up. I hope you're able to stay with me for these next videos, but if not, I understand. The YouTubers who I've gotten to start up who are Hikis, hopefully they stay around, and I'm looking forward to whatever it is they produce. There's a new guy who started, actually, who's a Japanese Hiki who speaks English. I'll leak him in the description. It's probably more of what you want to hear once I'm gone. Zabujard, watch Zabujard as well. I mean, he's going to be doing this for a while, it seems like, so, you know, the gap that my videos may leave for you, he can pick up right there. I mean, I've encouraged people to watch Sabojard forever just because he influenced my channel in a lot of big ways, just because I love his videos so much. So, there's people you can check out now that I've left the scene, but again, if you're so inclined, I'm still gonna be here on the platform. It's just my videos are gonna be different. Alright, I'll see you all later.